Hola, hola, ¿qué tal, amigos, amigas? Bienvenidos. Welcome once again to Lima, Peru. Welcome to my home in this incredible city that is, of course, all full of great food and history and museums and churches. But today I will be taking you to another spectacular city in Peru. This time we're going to Arequipa. And we've been going to Arequipa for several days together because, well, this event is the last one of a series dedicated to Arequipa. And well, this series also is part of a bigger series dedicated to the most famous touristic destinations within Peru, within this beautiful country, destinations that some of them are more famous than others. And well, this series is meant to help you to decide also where to visit, where to go in Peru, and why also to go to these places, not just showing you sites that are like Instagrammable in terms of photographies, but also that have a meaning, that have history behind, that will enrich not just your experience, also well your life, because as well as like humans with just I don't know a lifespan of 80 years or maybe 100 years, like we just can absorb this much from our experiences in this beautiful planet Earth. And I think traveling is a way also to nourish your soul. So well, in today's to Arequipa. And as I said before, well, we had also previous three parts. So this is the number fourth. If you want to see the other parts dedicated to Arequipa, in which we talk in the first part about the geography, the nature of that part of the country. In the part two, we talk about the pre-Hispanic history of Arequipa. In the part three, about like the highlights, the most important museums in the city center of Arequipa, known also as the White City. And now, well, we will complete also with more information. But if you want to see all the rest, please consider becoming my Patreon supporter and subscribe to my Patreon page. The information is here in the description of this event, of this video, if you see it recorded, and also here on the chat as well. From just $2, you can become a subscriber and have access to this information in a library that is there waiting for you. Okay, so let me know, please, if you can see me well, if you can hear me clear, because, well, sometimes technology is not on my side, not always technology is smooth. And also from this moment on, you are supposed to see images. So in a moment, I'll tell you when I start projecting the images. And well, these images will also help me to show you a bit more of the history of this part of the country, and also a bit of how Peru is. Hola, hello, Dr. Betty. Hola, gracias, gracias. Thank you for confirming also you can see me. Okay, and now you will be able to see. So, well, now we transporting ourselves into Arequipa, no? Into this land located in the south Peru. For those that are new, completely new to Peru, maybe you came just by let's say like accident into this channel, but you want to learn more about like where is Peru. Peru is located in South America. Well, the territory of South America is really, really big. We have several countries in South America. Peru is one of the three most largest countries in South America. It's the number three in space in territory, being the bigger one, Brazil, and then the second one in size, Argentina, and then Peru. Peru is also the 20th largest country in the world. And our geography, our Andes mountain range, and the ocean, the Pacific, and also being right next to the jungle, no? So we have also a big part of the Amazon rainforest, makes Peru a mega diverse land, a mega diverse country. We are very proud also of that. But this diversity also has created lots of uniqueness between, let's say, the societies that existed in Peru in the past, and also our present groups within the country. No? For example, the people from, let's say, Iquitos in the jungle, the north jungle of Peru, don't speak Spanish the same way we speak in Lima, for example, in the capital of Peru, or the people from Cusco in the South Andes, and as well also the people of Arequipa. So all of this uniqueness, and I just mentioned about the language, and we all speak Spanish, but our accents are very different, very unique, related with, a sense of pride, sorry, of pride, related with our origins. Okay, so here is Peru. On the left hand side, you can see, well, the map of the political division of the country, and Arequipa is one of the 24 departments we have in Peru. I always try to bring examples, like for example, in the United States, you have states, right? I think in Canada there are provinces. Well, in Peru we have departamentos or departments. So, for example, I live in Lima. You can see Lima is an orange color department that is located next to the ocean. That portion of the territory from north to south, let's say northwest to southeast, is also mainly a desert location, desert territory, where rains very little. In Lima, rains almost nothing. And it can be even worse going southern, because you go southern to the country and you reach even the limit in the extreme south of the coast of Peru, you get into the territory of Argentina, sorry, of Chile. And what is in Chile? In Chile is the Atacama Desert. Okay, so it's the driest desert in the world. So, well, and Arequipa, red circle, a part of its territory, coast, the desert, but also most of its territory is in the Andes, in the mountains. So, as I said before, today we will continue with this series, and well, also related a little bit with culture and with traditions of the Arequipeños. Okay, so we are especially like related with our origins and our cities. So I'm from Lima, I am limeña. People from Cusco are cusqueños. People from Arequipa are Arequipeños. And well, here I would like to tell you also that Arequipa is a place of tradition, of culture, very rich culture, impregnated with the Spanish influence. Probably they are the city, or like the people that are the most proud of the Spanish influence they have. Mm. Country where you can feel certain, or let's say the Spanish influence, or the, let's say, the foundation of churches, and the culture, that we have in Peru, which is more like, it's Western. No, we have like received the Westernization of our societies, forced by the process of the conquest, and later on the establishing of the viceroyalty of Spain, well, in Spain, where we're considered a viceroyalty. So I think that some people are more proud in Peru of that Spanish imposition, that was later celebrated than some other people. No? In Cusco, for example, just to name a case, in Cusco there is a bigger pride related with an identification of being, let's say, Incas or Incan descents, or at least mestizo, mixed blood, no, between the Spaniards and the indigenous. But in Arequipa, the common, say, feeling, the sentiment is that there is a big pride related with the faith, the religion. They are probably the city in terms of city that embrace the most the Catholic. They accomplish those traditions in a more, let's say, traditional with less indigenous influence. Okay, so this is the viewpoint of Yanahuara. The words Yanahuara come from Quechua, and they were actually two words. Now we call them as no, as one. Yana means black. Yana is black color. Okay, and wara is underwear. Okay, so according to the tradition, well, in this part of the city of Arequipa, there was a community, a indigenous group that, well, had the particularity of dressing up with this type of clothes, no, like underwears, or that were, of course, not like little ones like now we use. They were much longer, of course, like shorts, but they were all in black color. So this is a location that is interesting for many reasons and many purposes. One, of course, as a viewpoint of the city of, and also the three volcanoes that surround, is a city that has the part of being, well, the only one of its kind, in the sense that three volcanoes are around the city. No, so imagine something like Pompeii, with with the Mount Vesuvius, right? Volcano right there. So Arequipa has three volcanoes, but of course they are not all active volcanoes. One of them is, in fact, the Misty volcano, and they said, Arequipeños said that, well, part of their pride is being born at the foot of the volcano Misty. No, that makes them of strong temper. Okay, so you can see, well, Misty volcano also from this viewpoint, and something interesting that happens also at the end of Easter in this location is the burning of Judas, la quema de Judas in Spanish. Hola, Ned. Hola, amiga. ¿Qué tal? Gracias por venir. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your visit. We are just starting pretty much. So, and this also shows, first of all, that the celebrations of Easter in Arequipa are taken also very serious, and they have also their own traditions that are unique to Arequipa, that we don't celebrate, we don't do that way any other where in. The burning of Judas is pretty much a addition, to the celebrations of Easter. And you can see also Judas, which is a let's say, a doll made from cardboard, paper, and it also has inside these fireworks, no, fireworks that make like loud sound when this doll is burned. So the way, or the reason why Arequipeños like to celebrate this moment is because, well, they are also very political. Arequipeños are very political, very outspoken also in terms of politics. They also had historically, I think, after, well, Lima, well, the biggest number of presidents of Peru we had in our history came Arequipa. So they have been like very, very active participants of the politics. So So people tend to speak a lot about this topic, and there is one person that is in charge of saying like a poem, like a poetry, but all denouncing about the wrongdoings of the authorities of well that year, no, until that moment, no, from the last, let's say, burning of Judas to this one. So well, this is an event that everybody enjoys, and it started in the 50s. No? So this tradition. But another reason why to come to this location in Arequipa, in the city of Arequipa, the viewpoint of Yanahuara, is to eat. And Arequipa has probably one of the most excellent cuisines in the whole country. And we are known as the culinary destination in Peru, but I can say that the Arequipan cuisine is definitely excellent, no? And that probably they are not more, let's say, visited as a culinary destination as we are in Lima. We are more famous internationally. Our Limanian foods are more like out in the world because we have in Lima, well, the international airport. Everybody has to come, they are forced to come to Lima to use that airport first as a way, a gate into the country. And then after, they have to take destinations. And well, sometimes you have to decide like just going one place and not the other, and you will definitely go to Cusco, for example, if you have to decide, if you have to make a stay shorter. But if travelers from all over the world could come directly to Arequipa, I'm sure they will fall in love completely of their cuisine. And the cuisine of Arequipa is characterized by the chilies, by the seasoning, strong flavors, and authenticity. So the places that are well known as the traditional restaurants of Arequipa are called picanteria. Okay, so what is picanteria, or where it comes from, this name? Picante. Picante means spicy, spicy, flavorful, picante, hot also. So the cuisine of Arequipa is characterized by using well, lots of chilies, pastes of chilies. Things like this one, well, it was served originally like food, were like all full of flavor, no? But also the picanterias, which served not just like food, also served chicha, for example, a traditional type of chicha, of guñapo, which is the chicha of Arequipa, is a purple color, or let's say beverage made from corn. Is very, very delicious, also very refreshing. So the chicha came also with the food, and vice versa. Food came with the chicha. So these were places for relaxing, for eating, for enjoying, for conversing, for talking, and especially, already Arequipeños are very much into politics, so discussing politics. There was a time also when most of these picanterias were illegal, no? They were banned. They couldn't receive people because, well, the authorities knew that the conversations that took place in these picanterias were pretty much oriented to politics, and sometimes to even plot against, well, the authorities that were in place in those days. So we are basically talking about the 19th century, which was a time of, let's say, lots of tremendous changes in the country. So, well, if you go to a picanteria in Arequipa, you're going to see the traditional like kitchens. They still use like a timber, like a wood, to start, for example, well, the fire of their kitchens. And those are huge kitchens that you see in those restaurants. And also talking about like food and different products from Arequipa. So Arequipa is famous First of all, the countryside of the city of Arequipa is very famous as a place that, due to its volcanic origin, and also we are in the Andes, with lots of minerals also in the soil of Arequipa. It's a wonderful place, excellent place for example, plantations of onions, of garlic. Oh, I have the names in Spanish: cebolla, ajo, onions, garlic, but also several other products. Arequipa is also famous for the production of olives. And also, there was a time when wine was produced in this location, so grapes. So this is the San Camilo market, a market that was built in not far away from the historic center of Arequipa, by the way, built on, let's say, the land that belonged to a religious order, the order of San Camilo. That's why the name of the church. But this order, unlike the other orders we had in the colonial times, they they didn't really stay for long in this country. You know, so far I remember, they came in the 1600s. They were given a big portion of land, but well, after some couple of hundreds of years, they left the country, and the land passed to, let's say, other uses. There was a time when it was a school, so far I remember, and finally the land was not in use anymore. So originally, the markets used to be located at the main squares of the cities. That's in the colonial times. So until let's say the beginnings of the 20th century, the central market of Arequipa was located at the main square. And of course, that was not healthy for the people of Arequipa, nor healthy also for the people of any city. And in that period, that it still had that tradition of having like the food fairs in the main square, especially because, well, most of those cities didn't have, let's say, like a plumbing system, like underground sewers that were proper. So more for the smell problem, no, and the things in decomposition. So that's why it was finally made a decision of moving the market into a permanent location. And well, the only possible space that had the size, the dimensions to have a market was well, this location, no? So San Camilo market received also its final location in the year 1938. So that's also a must if you want to see products of Arequipa. And well, all of these products that you can find there in at the market, they are transformed beautifully in the kitchens of the Arequipeño families, at the restaurants also, like in the picanterias. And well, here we have, I think, some of the best options. But I am not from Arequipa, so probably Arequipeños will say, no, no, this one is the best one. This other one is the best one. So I'm trying to be a little bit more like open in terms of like uh, options that I know. Not just Peruvians would love, also you visitors from other parts of the world, or anyone who is trying food like, but is not locally from Peru, will enjoy. So, for example, I think the first one, rocoto relleno, is a must, but with a caution, no warning, which is that rocoto is a hot pepper. Okay, so if you want to try this one, you have to know that it's super hot. It's going to be really like a lot if you don't do hot at all. Okay, in the house, in our houses, we can make a variation of this rocoto relleno, and instead we can use a pepper without like the hotness, no, bell pepper, I think you call it, right? So that could be an alternative. But for those that like chilies, that is the one. And it's basically like a stuffed, let's say, hot pepper that has meat and also different sauces, locally found chili sauces. And then there's cheese on top, and that goes into the oven. So it's really tasty. Also, we have soups in Arequipa. Arequipa is located quite high, no? It's over 2,000 meters above sea level, the city. So, especially at nighttime, it can be a bit cold. So, we love soups in the Andes, and this soup is. Well, is of crabs, chupe de camarones. So something interesting, sorry, shrimps. Crab is cangrejo, shrimp. So something important about the soups of this kind is that, well, the chupes, when you see a soup, Peruvian soup that has the word chupe, and you know it's a soup, it means that it has milk. Okay, so it has a dash of milk or milk as part of the preparation. So that is a chupe generally. And well, this one is also very tasty, and it also has chilies as part of the preparation. So another option for those that are more light is the solterito. Solterito comes from the word soltero, which means single. Okay, solterito. And the solterito, well, has like lima beans, also olives that are local, like it has onions, it has tomatoes, it has like parsley like on top, and it has also cheese. And by the way, course. So it's a really tasty salad. I think you can also make this salad wherever you are in the world. Online, also, you can find the recipe to do the classical solterito salad. I'm sure you will love it. And there's no chili in it, okay? And we have also the ocopa arequipeña, which is one of the entrees that Peruvians love the most. It's basically boiled potato with a piece of, let's say, egg, an olive, and a cream that is made from like milk. It has cheese. We put some crackers and also some greens that will give this color. So it's really, really tasty. And for those that are of sweet tooth, this is the most famous dessert of Arequipa. The name of this dessert is queso helado, or, well, queso is cheese, helado is ice cream, or could be iced, cold. So, a cold cheese. So why we call it queso helado? It's in fact an ice cream, an artisanal ice cream. But well, the reason why we call it queso is also because the way how when the milk basically after being moved like for a long time in a okay, and the women who prepare this dessert also they do it well, in different parts of Arequipa. You can find them next to the main square. So they are like moving and moving and moving all this milk like constantly. And at the time finally is ready, this ice cream, it looks like blocks sometimes. So that's why the appearance of this milk iced is like cheese. That's why people call it a iced cheese, no? Or cold cheese. Okay, so it's really tasty. I think I remember because I had it a couple of times. It has cinnamon on top. Well, is also a must. Also, well, there are lots of other desserts in Arequipa. They have also a famous chocolate there, La Ibérica. La Ibérica is a famous company from the beginnings of the 20th century, established in Arequipa, and they offer also excellent chocolates. So, oh, okay. Polly, no problem. And also, we have this video available here for the rest of the day, also. So, gracias, amiga. Thank you. And we continue also over here. And let's go now to another destination in the department of Arequipa. We were in the city of Arequipa, basically enjoying some of the foods of Arequipa. And well, now let's travel to Chivay. No, Chivay is a city that is located at the zone where the Colca Canyon is, and this is Colca Canyon is the most famous touristic destination of adventure that we have in the department of Arequipa, and also one of the most famous destinations, like natural destinations, we have in the country. No? So let's also try to make a difference between Machu Picchu or Cusco. Are important historic destinations, number one indeed in the country, but they are not natural destinations. I hope you understand well the difference, no? Because there is human intervention, in making those places wonders, no? Like in the case of Machu Picchu, a world wonder. Okay, so in the case of Colca Canyon, it's a natural formation, gigantic, huge formation that is visited every year by millions of visitors who come to the country with the intention of seeking some adventure. And also culture, because Coca Canyon has several towns along its existence, and even in the part that turns like a canyon and a part that turns like a valley. I'll explain a little bit of that a little bit later. So on the sides, both sides of the river of Colca River, because it's a river, the one that gives the shape on its way from the mountains down to the ocean. To this section, like in the way it looks nowadays. So on the sides of this river, there are little towns. There are several towns. Really like show you each one, but I want to make a special mention on Chivay, because Chivay is a classical, a typical like Andean town, very very elevated. Here you have the elevations also in meters: 3,635 meters above sea level, in feet 11,926 feet over sea level. So it is very high, no? And also Chivay, as well as other towns in this part of the country, have a rich tradition in terms of churches. That you can see, for example, the main church of Sivai. But also, even though they are Catholic and they are also very much connected with their Catholic tradition, recently it was discovered something that made them extra proud also about, well, their location and their heritage. If you've been with me in the previous like events dedicated to Arequipa, probably you remember about the mummy Juanita. Juanita was a mummy discovered at the top of a mountain, say a former volcano is not active anymore, or glacier also, Ampato. And Juanita was sacrificed during the Inca times. Okay, so she was a capacocha, a child sacrificed to the gods, probably right after an eruption of Sabancaya volcano that made the Incas to be very afraid of the gods, thinking that the gods produced this event. And they brought Juanita to that place to finally sacrifice her, to give her as a present to the gods. So, what is the relation between Juanita and Chivay? Well, recently there was some DNA say tests done on Juanita, because we have her mommy and it's in quite good state. You see, like all her beautiful hair. The face is not in the best shape because seems that the mummy was exposed to the sun after the tomb where she was buried in was like open due to another explosion of the same volcano Sabancaya. So seems that she rolled down from her location, and her face was exposed to the sun, no, to the radiation, no. So that's why her face is not looking in her best state. But everything, all the rest is there, hairs especially. So she was tested, her DNA, and the specialist say that her DNA matches with the people of this location, of Arequipa, no, of Colca. So the locals of Chivay, they are very proud of saying that Juanita also was their ancestor, and it can make sense too, because like originally it was believed that Juanita came from Cusco, and it's not really contradicting the possibility. No, Juanita was probably trained in Cusco in a house of chosen women, and then later sent it to this place to die. But probably she came from this location, from this part of the country, and she was like taken since she was a child to be trained in the house of the chosen women in Cusco. So, well, they even have a statue, a monument of Juanita, but it's very new. I tried to find pictures of it, but I couldn't. So, well, it was very interesting, like knowing how much they embrace that like pre-Hispanic heritage they have. Well, and here we have also two different pictures, complete different pictures of the Colca River, and also one is the canyon and the other one is the valley. And I think you can clearly see the difference. I have a question from Annette here in the chat. What do you mean train in the house of church? Oh, like Nance. Yes, Annette. Well, um, to be very, very, very honest, um, nowadays we have very little and limited information of how was the life of these chosen women within those nunnery styles like residences, no, these houses of the chosen women, also known in Quechua as Wasi. Wasi in Quechua means house, and Agya like princesses or women, no? Chosen women. So the houses of the chosen women functioned in different locations during the time of the Inca Empire. Um, for sure, we know that at least existed two that we know, like from documents from the Spaniards. Okay, one existed in Cusco, in the city of Cusco, and another one existed in Lima, in an archaeological site known nowadays as Pachacamac. Okay, so those were like huge, like houses, like temple style, where those young women, only women that were probably between like 9, 10 years old until they were even older, not just like 20 years old, which were in their plenitude of life and youth, because some of these women stayed inside the house of the chosen women until they died. And because, well, they were the teachers, they were the leaders, the educators, so the ones in charge of the younger child or children coming, no. So we know from the chronicles of the Spaniards like very little amount of information, but we know they were not seen by the Spaniards. Okay, we know that they were used sometimes as human sacrifice, but not all of them, just the most important, maybe the most beautiful, the most skillful, the most talented, or the ones who were chosen to be killed eventually since birth. And how we know this? For example, in the case of Juanita, the mummy, when she was discovered by Johann Reinhardt, that was 1995, and also Miguel Zárate, a Peruvian also explorer, archaeologist also, he was as well from this location. So when they discover Juanita, they discover her carrying in one of her hands her umbilical cord. Okay, meaning that, or they interpret this, the specialists as well, that because she had her umbilical cord in their hand, like somehow, even since birth, she was chosen for this destiny. Okay. And being her from this location in the beautiful Andes, close to the volcanoes, maybe makes sense in that way, with that explanation, because probably like since she was a baby, something happened around her birth, or something happened with her parents, no, that made her in a way so special that she was later used to trade, no, like for tranquility, no, like with the gods, no. So well, this is a little bit of the explanation. Sadly, we don't know exactly what more really happened within those houses of the for the chosen women. But gracias, Annette, for asking me this. So well, here we can see Colca Canyon, and I want to give you some numbers also to give you a better understanding of how big and important is the Colca Canyon, because I mentioned already this is a natural destination, top natural destination for adventurers, for travelers of all ages. No, so for example, the length of the canyon, Colca Canyon, is about 100 kilometers. That's about 62 miles. That's the length of this canyon. But there is a moment in which the canyon, so let's say like goes like lower, 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 no, and becomes and flatter. Also, the canyon becomes flatter. So basically, the river is not that deep. Oh, and there's a moment of encountering between the flatlands and the river level. Okay, and that's the point in which we don't see anymore a canyon. We see a valley. Okay, so there is a difference between Colca Canyon, Colca Valley. Okay, but same river. So since the ancient times, the societies that existed here in this part of Arequipa, in this part of the country, they utilize also the fertile soils on the sides of the river, creating, for example, terraces. There are two important societies that existed here, the Coyaguas and the Cabanas. The Coyaguas are from the higher points of the canyon, no, the Colca Canyon, and also the Cabanas are the ones in the lower sides, in the lower lands of the canyon and also valley. So these people were fully adapted to their environment, and they created also excellent terraces even before the arrival of the Incas into this territory. For more information about this, also in my second part of Arequipa, which is also in the library in Patreon, where you can have the full access to that recording of over an hour. And well, also I wanted to read you the average, like the average depth. Sorry, the maximum depth of the cannon wall, okay, is 4,160 meters. So that is the deepest, let's say, that the cannon can go. Okay, and to that point in which the wall of the cannon is so big, well, the only way to reach that point, and something like, for example, the view you see in the picture on the left, the only way to reach there is, first of all, being an expert adventurous, being a canoeist, so someone that does a canoeing, like let's say like or kayaking, I think you'll call it better. So someone that is into, well, this extreme form of sports, because of course there are people who do like kayaking in a way much more moderate, and some people who do it in a very like experienced and expert level. Okay, so that is the only way how you can see the highest walls of the Colca Canyon. So sadly, there's no other way to do it. And there were really few people who were able to visit. Well, those exact locations where the heights of the wall are so tall, so big, proving also that this is the deepest canyon in the world. Okay, and I want to also make a special mention of the Canoandis, let's say, like group, who, well, there were six Polish men who came to Peru in the year 1990, and one of them also is a good friend of my family, of my political family also, which is also Polish. And well, he, as part of also his fellow colleagues, they were able back in that year to go, well, along the river Colca and picture also that event, which is fascinating but very dangerous. They almost lost their life in many occasions. So, and here we can see also talking about kayaking and canoeing, and also all the different forms of visiting those like the rivers also that we have in this part of the country, because it's not just that Colca Canyon offers you the opportunity of do this form of, let's say, entertainment, no, or sport also. In the Chili River in the city of Arequipa, you can also practice this sport. And depending on the moment in the year, there are moments in the year when the river level is way too high, and that's more dangerous also. There's levels of the river sometimes that is moderate, so it's easier to do this with children even. So depending on the river per se, you can do this activity if you are new or if you are very well trained into this sport. So in Colca and in Chile River, those are different rivers, by the way. One is the one of the Colca Canyon, and the other one is the one of the city of Arequipa. But also, people who come to the Colca Canyon, they are not going just to do these activities. Actually, this could be maybe an activity added to the one that everybody does when they go to Colca Canyon. And let me tell you, well, that this activity is super famous. And as I said before, as you see the landscapes, the canyon per se, the nature, also you can experience a special connection with the divine. This is the Mirador Cruz del Condor. Cruz, cross, condor, well, the bird, actually the biggest bird in the world that can fly. They are quite big, actually. They are quite big. In a moment, I'll show you a picture also of them, and let's talk a little bit more about it. The elevation of this viewpoint is about like 3,800 meters above sea level, so it's quite high, quite elevated. And well, from here, like, people await seeing condors. Okay. And well, not just an easy creature to be spotted. They are very peculiar, like with their, let's say, like the moments they choose to fly. They don't fly at any time. They don't fly for you. They don't have a schedule. It really depends a lot on many things. So, and by the way, like, to come to the Cruz del Condor viewpoint in Colca Valley, most people sleep in Arequipa, in the city, no, and they take like some to come to here, no. So we're talking about 5 hours in a bus, no, to come to this location. So the best way to do it is sleeping in a town that is closer, like Chivay. That's also why people like spend time in the cities near the cross of the Condor, because like 5 hours, 6 hours on a bus ride from Arequipa. At what time you have to wake up, no, to do this, no? So that's why tourism has been so important to develop other towns in the Colca Valley. Well, so it is recommendable, no, to come to the cross of the Condor viewpoint between 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. Okay, is recommendable. You can come anytime that you wish. No? But why? Because, well, these condors have, let's say, like peculiar like tastes in terms of like at what time they like to like go out to fly also. And they prefer to use the warm currents of air that start to circulate in the canyon between 7 and 10 a.m. So the temperature of the of the air, so there are warmer currents that are blowing, and they utilize the warm currents of air to, like to flight. Okay, they can fly, of course, but they prefer to use those warm currents, and in that way they can be suspended for longer time without even moving the wings. So, well, these condors, they are so interesting. As I said before, they are very big birds. Okay, depending on their gender, if they are male or female, which by the way is curious because in the bird world, usually the females are bigger than the males. Okay, but here we have something like an inverted dimorphism, so in which females are smaller, okay, than male is much bigger. And also another thing is that well, the weight of them can vary from 9 kilograms, I think, to 10, 11 kilograms. Also, they are very big. Even I read in one occasion that they can reach up to 15 kilograms. So they are very heavy birds. Also, the wingspan of the wings open, it is about 3 meters or 10, 11 feet. Okay, so they are huge. And when you are in Colca Canyon, well, these beautiful birds that you see, if you are lucky, you have to be lucky. No, you see one of them coming from the bottom because they nest on the walls of the canyon, right? And they then jump, no? And you can see that also in that moment. And little by little, like flying in circles, because there's a big space between like the walls of the cannon, they fly, and you see how they little by little they go higher, and they elevate until a point in which they reach the skies, and they continue their flight. So well, they are scavengers, so what they do also while they are flying like this is looking for food also. They are the natural cleaners of the environment. Their purpose in earth is to clean, and also well, the pre-Hispanic societies considered them to be connectors with the upper world. That's why there are many like symbols in the pre-Hispanic times, that also are represented with condors, representing the upper world, the Hanan Pacha. So well, and we are coming to the last images. So here we have talking about the faith and the religiosity of the Arequipeños, Our Lady of Chapi, Virgen de Chapi, which once again I said Arequipeños are very proud of their Spanish influence, where with pride also they usually say that they were the most Spanish city in the country, that they are also known as the White City, not just because the city was built in sillar, which is a volcanic origin, let's say, stone, white color, but also because they were, well, a white city because of the white people, Spanish people that live there. So their faith is kept the purest they can still. And this celebration of the Virgin Mary, which originally was the Virgin of Candelaria, this is a representation of the Virgin with the candle. But the story of Virgin of Chapi says something very curious. And as most of these stories of pilgrimages and holy images and holy Christs that we have, where our building, our place, no, where the building where she is, let's say, worshipped, no, is located about 60 kilometers away from the city of Arequipa. And the story how the Virgin ended up there is so interesting. So she was being taken from one town in the near the coast of Arequipa to another town. No, so it was a small representation of the Virgin Mary, and well, she was taken, and lots of things happened on the way, no, across the desert, no, the desert mountains. And well, in a moment, no, when she was, let's say, in this travesty, no, the image, a lot of things happened. Like, for example, like it started to sort of like rain ashes. Some of the explanations say there was an earthquake. So there were lots of things happening. And in a moment, well, these people carrying the image, they were a little bit tired, so they made a stop, no, on their journey, and they put down, well, the image, and well, at the moment they finished their rest and they tried to lift again the image of the Virgin of Chapi. They couldn't. She was extremely heavy, very, very heavy. So, well, they tried to lift her, couldn't. No, they tried several times, and in a moment, they started to hear the whispers of a woman, which actually this voice came from the image, no, and she started to say, "Chaupi, chaupi," no, and chaupi in the in Quechua language, which, by the way, is there the name also, means, so let's stay here or stay here. Oh. So the Virgin spoke Quechua to them. Oh, and the indigenous were very surprised, very touched. They said, the Virgin want to stay here, no? Want to stay in this location. And that's why a place for worshiping of the Virgin was created in that exact location, which is, as I said before, 60 kilometers more or less away from the city of Arequipa. And every year, thousands of people come to the pilgrimage, especially for the central date of the Virgin, which is May the 1st. About 100,000 people go to see, well, the shrine where the Virgin, as a preventive way in case of natural disasters. There were also some problems that happened in this location. She was moved her location finally, but she returns always for her celebrations. So Arequipa, no, is a place that has a big sense of pride for who they are. They even have, as a souvenir, of course, a passport of Arequipa, in which you can read, for example, in this passport, Independent Republic of Arequipa. So they are super proud of well, their history. Arequipa was given a taste of being indeed a capital of a country in two occasions, something that other cities in Peru, they didn't really experience in that way. Once, what happened when there was a project in Peru to divide the territory into the south portion of the territory would also be united, according to this project, with Bolivia. This confederation, let's say, of two nations was way too big, so it would be like independently like rule. So Lima would be like the capital of the north portion and Arequipa of the south portion. And this project lasted for 3 years. It was a long time, no? And also later on in our history, during the time of the Chilean occupation of Peru, during the War of the Pacific, Lima was taken by the Chileans. Okay, so the capital was moved to Arequipa, also for 3 years. Also, Arequipeños have this sense of, like pride, and also they know that if they were given the opportunity, they would be also excellent capital for the country. So they have their passport. They have also, this is as a souvenir. Also, as a souvenir, they have their own currency, the characato. Oh, in Peru, we use the sol, but they have their currency. It's just as a souvenir. They have their own beer, Arequipeña. And also, lastly, as a curiosity, also related with the Virgin of Chapi, last time when we had a important visit of a Pope, was Jean Paul II. He came in the year 1885 to Arequipa, and he visited the Virgin of Chapi. Okay, and he gave her a rose, a golden rose, and well, it was a very beautiful act Pope John Paul II did to Peru. That was the time of terrorism in Peru. So one of the things, as a joke, he said when he was giving his speech and starting his mass, he said that he was very sorry because he didn't know Arequipa was an independent republic, and everybody started to of course laugh. And he said that he was very sorry because he was not able to stamp his passport. No, and he offered apologies for such act, no, that he did. So he was officially, no, an illegal visitor in Arequipa. So well, anyways, I really hope you enjoyed today's event, and thank you so much for your participation, for being with me during these 4 parts that we've done. This is more like conversation, enjoying ourselves, also like learning a bit more about Peru. And if you wish to send me a question more like privately, here's my email. If you wish to, let's say, like get in touch, or you can also suggest me like new topics for other upcoming events. For now, the events that we have until I think like mid-December, they are already covered because we will go with this series to different parts of Peru. Like in a couple of days, we will have the first part of the north coast of Peru. So we'll talk about Peru's north coast, archaeology, history, geography, important touristic sites. So all of that will be covered. But you can suggest me also more events to come. And also, oh, sorry, Annette, I didn't see your question. What is the source of the water that feeds the river? Well, as most of the Andean rivers we have in the country, and we have rivers going towards the Pacific and goes to the jungle, the origin are glaciers. So we have glaciers up high in the mountains. And also, I know that, well, in this part, also the source of the Colca, let's say, river, which ends in the ocean, but close to this location, it has been found the source of the most distant, let's say, source of the water that ends at the Amazon river. Oh, making it indeed the longest river in the world. And the Amazon also, well, goes part of it across like Peru and also Brazil. Okay. So, and there are many tributaries, I think you call it in English, no, of rivers that end up in the Amazon in this case. My pleasure, Annette. Thank you. Thanks for your question. So I will now remove this image, and thanks for being here with me. If you wish also to see more events, I love to be an ambassador of virtual tours, and friends of mine who are doing virtual tours around the world. As a tour guide, we, of course, love to share culture, and not just necessarily from my country, also from other parts of the world. So I'm sharing with you some like links here on the chat. Also in the description of this video, you will find those two of Facebook groups that offer uh, tours, like, and most of them are free to join, free to watch. You can support with a donation also if you wish to the tour guides, so you can go to Paris, you can go to the United States, to different cities in the United States. I think Chicago, so there's a colleague that does tours in Chicago every once in a while. You can go to Italy, you can go to many different cities. I also have a colleague that does tours in Arequipa, which is a good friend of mine, Elizabeth Puma. Astonishing Peru is her YouTube channel, so follow her, please. She's wonderful. And hope to see you in 2 days. I think the event is already posted here on YouTube. So, well, big hug. Also, if you wish to support with a donation, the link to donate on PayPal is up there. And please consider becoming my Patreon, because, well, that is really wonderful also for me. With a little donation, you can have access to my events, to recordings of my events, and learn also with me more about Peru. So, well, muchas gracias. And until the next time, until next Wednesday, miércoles. So, ciao, amigos. Bye bye. Gracias. Best to you all. Have a lovely, lovely week. Mm. Gracias, Annette. Gracias, querida. Thank you. Bye.